Travis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You're on point five. Once again, Tip. You're on point five. Once again, Tip. You're on point five. Once again, Tip. Watch me bust they shit. Okay.
Action peoples cannot dominate. My rhymes are harder than last night's erection. Don't blame it close, I have this mic up in your midsection. My shit is love, simply meaning that my joint is tight. Amping up the mic, making sure production's tight. Sometimes I might catch a severe case of writer's block, but by the end of the day, you'll be on my jock. Real name's Malik, my hobby's putting MCs to the test. And if you front, I'll put my foot up in your friggin' chest. Freestyle fanatic, and never will it ever stop. Your crew is his, you might just wanna call the
Hey
cop.
yo, I gotta put some action on paper. Make sure my verse jump up and spread out like the raper. The only tip I got for a waiter is watch the doorknob hit me where the dirty dog should have bit me. That was my train of thought, but for so long I fought. Now I'm at a level supreme to the devil. So turn up the bass and lay low on the treble. We be the willing kids and you dead with the shovel. Revitalize, revive the tribe, nigga. The ladies sweat the style like the squirrel sweat the nuts.
Welcome in. It's Friday. I know you are ready to cut loose, but before you do, grab your snacks, get a beverage, and check in with me. I'm Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580 for ya entertainment news update. Kicking off the weekend with a little Tribe Called Quest. We like that. Shout out to Tribe. So listen, while we're up, NFL preseason game going on right now. Shout out to Shedeur Sanders, 2 touchdowns thus far. Listen, Jamie Foxx, he's already on Instagram talking his mess. LeBron James, he's posted. He's ready. You know he's ready. His words were, and I don't want to hear that it's only preseason BS, because if he was out there not going in, y'all would be on his bleep about it. So give credit and grace, lames. Cameron jumped in. That's all I can really check. You know, this is up to the minute reporting. But shout out to Shedeur. He walked into the stadium humble, no flash in the watch, simple look, simple backpack, ready to put in business. You know, not attracting attention, just there to go to work. Went on the field and did that. Travis, who can only hit what target? Shout out to Shedeur, man.
Big ups to Shedeur. One of the most impressive things for me is his poise. He doesn't seem rattled or anything like that. And I also will say that he's playing with the third and fourth strings right now, but you see some of the players that are, part of the one team, the A team or whatnot. Uh-huh. You see them around and they're like, they chopping up with him every time or whatnot. So he seems to carry, leadership qualities that seem to captivate a lot of people. And they're on the road. They're playing in Carolina. And it's looking like it's a Cleveland Browns game with the amount of 12 jerseys that you see. You see folks with signs talking about like, hey, I know you guys ain't rocking with him, but Shedeur is the people's champ. So it's a lot of support going on with him, man. Much love to him.
Shout out to that. His daddy, he jumped on Twitter X too and said, oh, yeah, now what? Coach Prime. That's the hashtag. Not Shedeur, Coach Prime. But anyway, I'm just saying. I'm excited about this NFL season. I think that, should he get some more tick, I understand these are his first snaps in the NFL, and it's preseason all the way around, but sounds positive.
Very positive. Continue to work, my brother, because to be honest with you, You're not popping out of the screen just yet. You're looking like a straight game manager. You're dinking and dunking. That's cool. We need you to be efficient and we need you to score. But, you know, the criticism is still going to be there. It's not like, oh, my gosh, he's just flashing out of the screen right now. Like, it's basic right now. He's playing real Tom Brady-ish. And I know that's his mentor. He's wearing 12 because of Tom Brady. I get it. Make it happen. Be efficient. But
maybe that's the start.
I need more excitement, though, brother. Just a little bit more.
We'll see. You know, we'll see if he can crack in the rotation officially. We'll see what goes down with that. Okay, so listen, tonight we are talking about David Justice, former Atlanta Braves MLB star. He's pulling back the curtain on his former marriage to Halle Berry, revealing some details, some we've heard before, some we may not have heard. He has a certain perspective. We'll get into that. Eddie Murphy had a funny little story to share about his time on set with Jennifer Hudson and Beyoncé. And what it really illustrates is how much of a girl's girl Beyoncé is. Shout out to Eddie, his film with Keke Palmer and what's the guy's name? Pete Davidson. The Pickup is on Amazon Prime, dropping today. Just Prime. Go check that out. And coming up at the bottom of the hour, we have interviews with Jermaine Dupri and the other creatives behind Magic Series, the American fantasy docuseries that's dropping on STARZ next week. And I'm really excited about this. It was a really, really good and informative, well put together docuseries. So we'll get into the details of all of that when we come forward, because I have some things to share before we even get into that, because, you know, I got all the trending topics going for you. So stay. I know you got your snacks. Maybe a libation, because it is Friday. When we come forward, we'll get into all the details.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So unless you're new here, you know how this goes down. Hit us up if you want to join the conversation. 800-920-1580. Of course, you can hit us on social media. KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill. Hit us up. Holla at your girl. Say hi. And we have an app. Download the app. Or if you want instant community, get in that YouTube chat. They're already in there chatting us up as it is. You know, they always have great commentary. Now, listen, before we get into the other stuff, you know, there's always a couple of little tidbits I like to give you before the main dish. You know, everybody likes a little, what are they? An hors d'oeuvre. An hors d'oeuvre. Everyone likes an hors d'oeuvre before the main entree. And I need my people aware. They need to know what's going on. Andy,
what's your hors d'oeuvre of choice?
I mean, I really love tapas, so I love hors d'oeuvres. It can be, you know, any number of things. I am all about like the light bites and delights and, you know, the small servings or whatever. That's my jam right there. Yeah. Cheese
sandwich with a tomato bisque.
I love that. I wouldn't have that as an hors d'oeuvre at a party favor. You mean appetizer? That's really the word that I was looking for. Yeah. Hors d'oeuvres are like tray pass when you're at a cocktail thing. Appetizer is the word that I was thinking of. But I mean, I am a salad girl. I really like salads. I'm not faking for a guy. I really enjoy salads. You know, you can give me a little shrimp cocktail. Like, it depends on where we're going. Okay. Do you know? Yes, I'm a Taurus, and I enjoy food.
So you rock with the caviar and all of that type of stuff, too?
I do not like caviar. Okay. I do not care for it. Okay. I know it's rich and fancy. I can be rich and fancy in other ways. Okay. So, you know, not going to roll with that.
Do you drink Bloody Marys?
You know, they're not bad. Like, but it's not something that I would like seek out as like a morning brunch cocktail. I'm much more of a Paloma girl or something like that.
What's the Paloma?
Paloma is like grapefruit juice. Okay. I can't remember if it's vodka or gin.
Okay. Like a Bellini kind of.
Kind of like but with grapefruit juice and you know. Well, Bellini has champagne, darling. We're talking vodka, the spirits. You know, there's a difference. So yeah.
Bring my notepad.
A little bit. I'm trying to help out a little bit. So listen, are you Shein? Is it Shein or Shein? You know, one of those the place where you could get 5 outfits for $5, basically. Guess what? They had a pop-up in ATL, and there was a line all the way down and wrapped around the mall. And oh, by the way, when they opened the doors, the workers that were there to greet you, they were swag surfing and handing you your bags. So I guess since those tariffs are hitting kind of hard, they had to, you know, we're going to pop up here. I wonder if it's something that we'll see take off in other parts of the country. But like I said, that line was down the mall. Your guy, Dame Dash. I said that I'm going to do better and not report as much on Dame just because Dame is outrageous sometimes. And some of this stuff, you know, we could just bypass. But I thought this is one, I still feel like, yo, Dame, we are coming up on 24 years now since the passing of Aaliyah. Respectfully, and I understand that might have been the love of your life, respectfully, please let her rest. Let baby girl rest. Okay, this is why I say this. So he was on the Art of Dialogue, as he frequently is, and he introduced his new artist, a rocker type chick. Her name is Nikki Licky, right? And he compared Nikki Licky to Aaliyah. He said if Aaliyah were white and a lesbian, she would be Nikki Licky. Don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody want to hear that description, right? He said that out loud. Nikki looked blindsided a little bit. But Dame just signed her to his group, the Black Guns, and she's on their new project, 365, with supposedly a September tour coming. Also, Dame got caught up with them dentures again. They almost slipped out when he was talking about how y'all be out here yip-yapping, but you don't know what's going on and preying on his downfall. Effordent, isn't that what the denture grip is called? I don't know. Get it, Dame. Get a sponsorship while you're at it. A collaboration.
Get some implants. Why not?
Can he afford them right now? Dental work is expensive. Maybe he needs to take a trip to Colombia. I don't know. Shout out to Dame Dash, all right? And shout out to Duke Dennis and Glorilla. They are linking up for a True Religion campaign. Social media is loving the energy. Some people are still mad that Glorilla had them thinking Duke Dennis was an NBA player at first. Remember, she got that wrong. Hey, man, he's a streamer. They're the new celebrities. All right, let's get into this David Justice, Halle Berry conversation. Now, it's from All the Smoke. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a little lengthy, so we're going to be, walking and talking with meaningful pauses in between, okay? So David Justice revealed that not only, and this is not new information, Halle has shared this before, she proposed to him just 5 months after they met in 1992. And they married January 1st, 1993. They met in May of 92, right? He said that things soured when he realized she wasn't the traditional wife he envisioned. He said one tension point came when Halle greeted another actor with a kiss on the lips in front of him, something she called a Los Angeles thing. So he felt the Hollywood game was interfering. He also felt like when the rumors and conversation came up about the ex-boyfriend or the ex in her life that was abusive, that she didn't do enough to clear his name when those rumors were flying back in the day. And he said he suffered because of it, right? The marriage ended in 97, and Justice says the public narrative blamed him. And he said that, he understands what she was going through, essentially, but that she should have looked out for him in that regard. So we'll listen to a bit, we'll comment, we'll listen, we'll comment. Here we are.
But I didn't really have any really real personal stuff until, Halle and I got together, you see. And of course, that was a lot of focus because back in them times, I can't think other than Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. I can't think of anybody before that was us.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. I can't think of no one. Mm-hmm. And then Halle coming up young and
wait. Can we pause it really quick? He said he couldn't think of anybody that was equivalent to them. I'm going to name somebody that was just a couple of years before that actually Halle starred in a movie with, probably around that time. Mike Tyson and Robin Givens. Anybody? But we'll continue on.
Being hot and just trying to make her career, and then you got me. And, it really wasn't a lot of negative attention until I decided to leave her in 1996. I remember Halle saying to me, hey, she asked me to marry her after knowing me for 5 months. And I said, okay. But because I couldn't say no.
Who's going to say no at that time?
And I said, okay. But I don't know if my heart was really into it.
Right.
But I didn't want to make her feel bad and say no, or like I was just in the moment. It caught me off guard. But I was like, cool, we getting along, we vibing. We're only 5 months in, we still in the honeymoon state. And then all of a sudden that followed up.
I decided to pause myself, Jill.
Okay.
Red flag off the rip. Like, your heart wasn't into it. And I think a lot of men, generally speaking, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, or a marriage, I think sometimes they do jump into relationships not 100% with their whole heart into it. I think they do it for
a multitude of reasons.
And I think that's probably the beginning. Obviously he didn't know what was going to occur, but off the rip, he should have we all should know. If your heart is not into it, just fall back. Don't even.
I mean, 92 Halle Berry was 92 Halle
I get
Berry.
it. I get it.
I met Halle in May of 1992. So you talking about, then we got married January 1st, 1993.
Damn.
Right? And, but we spent a lot of time apart because she was doing movies in this country, that country. And we honestly, we probably could have made it if I knew about therapy. If we knew about therapy, we probably could have made it, because we never had any major issues like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that because I was young and had only been in, honestly, one real relationship before her, my knowledge and my understanding, my wisdom around relationships just wasn't vast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at my mom, and I'm a Midwest guy. So in my mind, I'm thinking a wife at that time should cook, clean.
Traditional.
You know, and then I'm thinking, okay, if we have kids, you know, is this the woman I want to have kids with and build a family with? And at that time, as a young guy, she don't cook, don't clean, don't really seem
Pause
like
it
motherly.
for a second. I'm going to say, and, you know, she didn't. They were both young. But I'm also going to say the fact that I think a lot of men, famous men included, think they want a famous woman until they get a famous woman and the things that come along with it, right? Because for some men, makes them uncomfortable that they're not the most famous woman. I mean, not the most famous person in their family. And it's all good, like, yeah, that's me, until it really has to be you. And sometimes you get pushed to the left or told to step off the carpet so we could get a solo shot of Miss Berry. I'm not saying that happened to David. I'm just saying. Let's continue.
You know, is this the woman I want to have kids with and build a family with? And at that time, as a young guy, she don't cook, don't clean, don't really seem like motherly. And then we start having issues. Listen, we never, I'll say this. We never had any issues about other women, other men.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I was never tripping I was tripping one time when she.
Oh no, I got one time I was tripping.
At one time, because I didn't understand it. When we were out to lunch in LA, and I'm from Cincinnati, man. I ain't even in LA scene like that. And she see an actor that she worked with one time, and he came in, hey, kissed him on the lips.
Oh.
What are we doing around here?
Was he European or American? I'm
yeah,
confused.
American.
What's going on here?
Oh, so I know this is going to be a conversation. So we get home and I ask about that. Oh, that's what we do in LA. Oh, okay then. So now her manager and I used to go to this restaurant all the time. I had a young lady at the front seat us all the time. We went there so much, she became so friendly. We got the hugging her every time we come in. Hey, how you doing? Just regular hug. Take Halle and his wife to lunch one time. I said, Halle, this is such and such. This is Halle, right? Halle looked at that girl, saw how fine she was. Like, barely touched her hand, right? Just played her crazy. I was embarrassed, I was like, but wait, hold on. I just hugged the girl.
Right.
You kissed this dude, and you mad at me because I hugged the girl? So, but remember, we young. So, young, you get petty.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You petty when you're young. There's things you just do that are petty when you're young. Well, anyway, the honeymoon stage was over, right? And now it's just David and Halle. And when it's just David and Halle, I just realized this is not the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So February 1996, I told her, hey, I can't do this no more. We don't have any kids. You said you wouldn't want any money from me because really she didn't have any money. I was the one who bought the house in LA. I was the one who had my house in Atlanta.
Dang,
I'm really
David.
everything.
As a man
And I
should,
said,
David.
You said you didn't want any money. So, we don't have any kids. We should just make a clean break. And she was like, no. No. And then all of a sudden I find out I got all these women. I find out I'm doing all this other stuff. And so what she was doing is, see, I'm just an athlete. I don't have managers. I don't have this system behind me. You see, she got managers. She got all this kind of stuff.
She got the machine.
She got the machine. So you got the machine now coming against me. And I remember my mom saying to me, she was like, listen, baby, all the media want to do is see you two, you young black kids fighting with each other. She said, you just take the high road and let her say whatever she want to say, but I don't want you out here talking bad about that girl. My mama said this to me. I'm an only child, raised with just my mom. What my mom said was gospel.
Right.
So I said, okay, mom, I won't talk like that in public. I might talk a lot of junk to the boys, but I ain't gonna say nothing in public. And I didn't, man. I didn't. I just watched her say all this stuff about me, and I was like, and so crazy is the one thing that probably I would say hurt the most is Halle had a relationship with a gentleman who hit her on the side of the head, and so she lost some hearing, but she never made him public. And I'm not gonna make him public because I ain't gonna do him like that. I know who it is.
So do I.
But for people to think, oh, it had to be David Justice because the only person they associated her with was me. Now she said it was a former boyfriend. I'm not a former boyfriend. I'm her husband.
Right.
That's different.
Big difference.
But literally from 96 until even today, sometimes I'll see something on social media. Well, he hit her in the head. And I'm like, oh, that's just a quick Google search.
Yeah.
Do a quick Google search. That girl ain't never said I hit her in the head. But one thing I didn't like is, but she let you think that.
Right.
She let the world think it.
That's tough.
She didn't come out and say, oh, no, it wasn't David. But I'm not going to say who it was, but it wasn't him. No, she let the world think that it was me. And that I never appreciated with her. I thought she was dead wrong for that. I thought she should have handled that better.
Listen, when we come forward, we are going to get into all the details of that because there's a lot there. And, it brings up some interesting questions. All of that and more when we come forward. Jill Munroe, KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. A judge has ordered all arrest records destroyed for former Grand Rapids officer Christopher Shore. He was charged in the 2022 shooting of Patrick Lioya, a black man, during a struggle over a taser.
This seems like a relatively routine exercise of Michigan law in what happens to be a unique kind of quirky case.
After a mistrial and no retrial plan, Shore's lawyer cited a state law allowing record destruction when charges are dismissed. Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer says he may request home confinement instead of prison time. Combs was convicted last month on 2 prostitution-related charges and faces up to 5 years. And the Justice Department is investigating Black New York Attorney General Letitia James. She's under scrutiny for possibly violating President Trump's civil rights after winning a $300 million civil fraud case against him. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Problems into the Cahuenga Pass. There's a brush fire reported. It's North 101 before the 170-134 split. 2 right lanes are blocked, and the drive is a huge mess. Getting away from just about Hollywood Boulevard, it's becoming even slower on the southbound side near Highland. We also have reports of some smoke coming out of the landscape and possibly some trees on fire there as well. So watch out. We're also heading out to the 1. Also the 110 freeway slowing out of Elysian Park from the 5. You're on the brakes ahead all the way to Manchester Avenue. Northbound delays, leaving Slauson, heading all the way back to the 5 in Elysian Park.
Ignite your afternoons at Waba Grill's $5 happy hour with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium one beverage drink, like our tangy passion fruit lemonade. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. Only at Waba Grill.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks' impressive turnaround in the WNBA continues. They beat the Connecticut Sun Thursday night 102-91, 21 points for Derica Hamby. The Sparks are 8-1 in their last 9 games to improve to 14-15. The LSU women's basketball program is showing some love for HBCU teams. The Southeastern Conference powerhouse has 4 HBCU opponents on their schedule this season: Langston University, Alcorn State, Morgan State, and Alabama State. Interesting development in the NFL regarding black quarterbacks. For the first time in NFL history, all 4 teams in the NFC East Division have a black starting quarterback. Dak Prescott with the Dallas Cowboys, Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles, Jayden Daniels of Magic Johnson's Washington Commanders, and Russell Wilson with the New York Giants. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready? Drop it! Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, also known as AD, a type of dementia that affects memory, thinking, and behavior, making everyday tasks challenging. But did you know that black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? There are things you can do to help reduce your risk for developing AD. Managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure is crucial. Staying physically active, maintaining social connections, eating a healthy diet, and keeping your mind engaged with activities like reading or puzzles can all contribute to brain health. It's also important to recognize some common signs and symptoms of early AD, such as forgetfulness that causes problems with everyday life, asking the same question a few times in a row, and difficulty concentrating on basic tasks. If you see these signs in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing AD effectively. To learn more about AD and a potential treatment option, visit treatallzearly.com. That's treatallzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
work like a doctor. When I rock the mic, you got to like the way I operate. I make miracles happen just for rapping. I'm so lyrically potent, and I'm floating and exploding on the scene. Mean, I got the potential to make it go then chill. I got the credentials that is the essential to make a rhyme and chill. Then you know I will fulfill, make a couple of mil as I build a guild for all the rappers to skill and kill the weak rappers with no frill. Hang him in effigy, if he's a sucker. Hang him to the left of me, cause my right hand man is my mic stand and the microphone that I own. And my game plan is keep it at a steady pace. Ain't no need to rush, it ain't no race. I'ma hit the top just when I wanna. And it's a matter of time, and I'm gonna, cause I know when to. Go ahead, enter the classic Modi rap that sent you running around, holding your hand, asking your homeboy, yo man, you heard what he said? Another funky rhythm. Look at your man and give him a high five, cause I'm live, running around with him. Telling everybody hanging out on the block, it's time to wake up and check the clock. Punch it.
I go to work. Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Kumo D, that big Leo energy. Happy 63rd birthday. Okay? 40 years ago, when he was putting out this yin, he was in his 20s and, setting the stage. One of our first hip-hop beefs. LL versus Kumo D. Legendary. Shout out to him. You know we love hip-hop here. Now listen, I think, one, David Justice has a right to be upset that he was kind of left caught up in the mix, in the twist about that incident with Halle, right? But to be fair, she said boyfriend and you were her husband, ex-husband. So, I mean, she did clarify to some degree. We know that rumors have been swirling for years, but I really feel like his name wasn't the name that was hammered hard. If there's anyone who I feel like has a bigger gripe as far as that, it's Christopher Williams, right? He was accused of it. And then there's the individual that we all believe it to be. And if you're in the chat, you can search up and down there and figure that one out. Listen, storytelling is a great deal of what makes podcasts. I just wonder, though, as we always, go hard on the women for their dating choices and past, right? Why do we not do the same? Well, I do. But why do we not do the same exploration of the gentlemen? Why do they not get as much heat? Like right now, Sweetie is being dissected up and down, being accused of sleeping with Offset. People are naming off the whole list of people she allegedly was dating, right? Because academics threw it out there that Sweetie and Offset were dealing with each other. And if you remember, Cardi B talked about a couple months ago, someone, oh God, a fly just flew dangerously close to flying in my mouth. We're not having that. She spoke about when she was at the Vanity Fair party, I believe after the Oscars, and that someone spoke to her that they used to have beef with. I can't remember the exact words. And she said that, basically she shaded her. Now, some are thinking, because there was another individual there dripped in diamonds, that the individual she was speaking of is Sweetie, and that those rumors from back in the day, that they're true. And academics supposedly confirmed that they are. I don't know. But, we women talk mess about Offset and all of his cheating, but the men are okay with it. Offset recently said nobody has done better when he's left them. Okay, Offset. All right, now let's get into Eddie Murphy. I mentioned he has a new movie that drops today, right? And it's the pickup artist. It's him, Pete Davidson, Keke Palmer, and Eva Mendes, right? She plays his wife in it. So it's on Prime. Go check it out. But on his press run, right, where he's been talking about what his 4 favorite movies are that he's done. Oh, by the way, fans are arguing with him about his 4 favorite movies. I think he said it could change, right? But I know that Boomerang was not in there. Coming to America was. Life was not. Harlem Nights was not. Think 48 Hours was. And I can't remember the other two. Oh, by the way, he said Norbit. I think Norbit might have been in there. He said Norbit is one of his favorites. He doesn't care what you guys say. He and his brother wrote it, Charlie Murphy, and he thought it was quite funny.
Nutty Professor as well.
Oh, Nutty Professor. Okay. So, yeah, shout out to Eddie in that. But when he was interviewing with Complex, Speedy, he was asked if he had any warm memories of Beyonce from their time filming Dreamgirls. It's the 20th anniversary roundabouts of that film. And first of all, I say this all the time. I know it was a tight race that year, but I feel Eddie was robbed for the Academy Award. He should have won Best Supporting Actor. And I feel like him losing that kind of knocked him off of his game in a way. And he hasn't really, well, he's starting to, but it was kind of wobbly there for a second. It was a little weird. But anyway, he shared his fond memory that actually doesn't involve him. It involves Beyonce and Jennifer Hudson. And it's quite amusing, but it also shows how much of a girl's girl Beyonce is. So let's listen.
Beyonce, you guys did Dreamgirls together. What's your favorite memory of spending time with her?
I did Dreamgirls right when I was getting divorced. I was kind of like on automatic pilot, and I don't remember a lot of making the movie. My Beyonce memory was, and neither one of them know that I know this. I watched Jennifer Hudson and Beyonce. They were between shots. They were on stage. Jennifer is new in show business then, and she had, I guess, her finger right between her, it was ashy. And she was licking her fingers and getting the ash like that. And Beyonce grabbed and said, "Ooh, girl, don't do that. I'll get you some cream." And it was quiet between the two of them, but I saw it. And this might be the first time I've shared that with anyone. That's my Beyonce memory. "Ooh, girl, let me get you some cream. Don't do that."
That's funny.
So one, shout out to B. She didn't want Jennifer out there, playing herself, looking unpolished. So she had her back. But shout out to Eddie. That's what comedians do. They just observe. They sit back. They take it all in. And, I thought that was kind of sweet. Or maybe, just interesting that he didn't have any warmer memories of Beyonce. But that's just how it goes. All right, listen, coming up. Was that an earthquake? When we come forward, right, we have interviews from the new docuseries about the infamous, the iconic Atlanta strip club, Gentlemen's Club, Magic City. A 5-part docuseries is dropping August 15th on STARZ, and we have interviews with Jermaine Dupri, where he discussed how it was the launch pad, so to speak, for a lot of Southern hip-hop. Jami Gertz, if you don't know who Jami Gertz is, she was the star back in the day. She was in this TV show called Square Pegs, 16 Candles, Less Than Zero, The Lost Boys, Twister, a bunch of movies. She left the industry back in about 2000-ish when she got married. She's now a producer. She's a white lady, okay? But she is one of the producers on this documentary. And oh, by the way, she owns a small piece of the Atlanta Hawks. So shout out to her and the director, Charles Todd. So this docuseries, it's excellent. It gets all into the backstory, the history, the stars, the celebrities, the infamy, the murders, all of those things. So check out the interviews and make sure you're back here on Monday. Lock in with me, Jill Munroe, because as always, I got that juice and I might have some tickets, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right, y'all. Enjoy the interviews.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, Jermaine. I'm Jill Munroe with KBLA Talk 1580. I hope you're having a good day. So you talked about in this docuseries, like your early memories of Magic City, but at what point did you realize it was more than just a strip club and like a Southern hip hop incubator and cultural icon?
Prior to going, it was a time when I couldn't get in there, and I used to see pictures like with Magic and Andre Rison and Deion Sanders and Dominique Wilkins and I think I seen like Tree Rollins and Magic Johnson. I seen pictures of like, oh, this is the club, this is the plot. You know what I mean? It felt like, and back then, the way that they dress code was, it made it feel more like it was a nightclub as opposed to a strip club. They was dressed leathers on, leather pants, looking like they looked like they was going somewhere else besides going to a strip club. So I always, wanted to be there.
How different would the So Def catalog look if not for Magic City?
I'm not really sure. I don't know if the Bass All-Stars would have been as popular, the So Def Bass All-Stars compilations. I can't really say a lot of the music that I have besides that Bass All-Stars was like the most dominant in that club. I think they played my music, but the way that they played the Bass All-Stars records was incredible.
So being that you're an EP involved in this, what are some that you wanted to make sure were highlighted or showcased in this?
I just wanted to make sure that the culture is brought to life, because I think people get it twisted about what Atlanta's culture is. And people from out of town, they think that Atlanta's culture is just Martin Luther King, Jimmy Carter, Hartsfield Airport, the city that had the first black mayor, Maynard Jackson, being big in civil rights. Just so many things on that level. And people don't understand that's the politics. That's politics. That's the political side of Atlanta. This is the culture of Atlanta. And this is a culture that was meshed with this new era of hip hop. That gave this club a whole new 20 years worth of life.
So last question for you. We've learned so much about Magic City through this documentary, things that the general public probably weren't aware of. What did you learn from it that you weren't aware of or had no idea that was a connection to the club?
I never knew that, for the longest, we had a legal law that was passed for women to be nude in clubs. I always went to other cities trying to figure out why their girls weren't nude and why it was just, a topless bar. And why were they calling it a topless bar? I'm like, in Atlanta, everybody, every club, white club, black club, whatever, it don't matter. They all are nude, right? I learned that in this documentary that the law was passed and all of these promoters just started taking advantage of it. That's why Atlanta has so many strip clubs.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you both. I'm Jill Munroe from KBLA Talk 1580. So starting off, what was the moment when you both knew that Magic City was more than just a strip club, but a cultural sort of behemoth that you wanted to take into a docuseries?
I'll say that I had heard of Magic City. I am a hip hop fan. I had heard the name of this place for, as long as it's been in hip hop, but I didn't know a lot of the stories that undergirded it and were the foundation of it. And for me, the origin story here starts with me sitting in Jermaine Dupri's studio and hearing him tell stories of him and Janet Jackson and Quincy Jones and Big Meech. And the list just went on and on and on about all of these people that would congregate and break bread in Magic City. And I was like, where else in the world is this possible? So that was really the moment when I was like, you know what, there might be a story here worth telling. And the first call I made when I had that thought was to Jami Gertz.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it came more from the NBA world. We are involved with the Atlanta Hawks basketball team. And so I moved to Atlanta about 8 years ago. And the first people to befriend me were Juju and Mikey Barney. Came up to me at a game and said, hey, introduce themselves. You ever need anything, you let us know. And it was kind of that Southern hospitality. It was so kind at a time where I was really making a big change in my life. And so I always was friendly with them. I got to meet Mr. Magic. And when Cole called and wanted the introduction, I, decided to come on board and help tell this story because of the real entrepreneurship of Mr. Magic, the Barney family, and this institution that is internationally known.
So from that, there's a theme that runs through it about reality versus the fantasy of it all. What do you feel is the biggest myth that was?
Well, for me, I mean, I just didn't realize what a family business it was. And it's like the Black Chairs. It's a place that people go, even if you're driving a truck during the day. And you know what? Instead of going to McDonald's, you know what? I'm going to go get some wings at Magic City. I'm going to stop by there. And what I love about it also, Mr. Magic is I get fancy people in here all the time, but I want my regular Joe to feel like he is a part of this experience. And I want him to feel like he's getting so what I love about it is that everyone's treated the same when you walk into Magic City.
If I can add on that, I think that for me, the biggest myth that I think a lot of people will come to this project with are all sorts of latently held prejudices and preconceived notions about who the people are that participate in this industry. So both who the Barney family are and who Mr. Magic must be, and then also who the women are who dance on stage and make their living this way. And I think if we accomplish nothing else with this project, we want to really turn a lot of those preconceived notions on their head, because Mr. Magic is as accomplished and responsible of a business owner as we've been able to find. And the women are these incredibly strong, incredibly powerful, athletic, entrepreneurial people who deserve to be honored. And I think that narrative is one that hopefully will counteract a lot of what people assume about this place.
Amazing. Thank you both so much for your time. Jami, you're kind of living the dream for me. I loved you from Square Pegs on, and you're in NBA ownership and producing great things. So it is amazing to see you take part in this project.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And I love your art.
Hi, Charles. Great to meet you. I'm Jill Munroe with KBLA Talk 1580. So starting off, you are the eye behind the lens. You give us our creative feel, all of that. What was your thesis, so to speak, when going into this whole project and how you wanted to lay it out?
What a beautiful question. Yeah, sure. I think the first thing I sort of thought of is when you step inside Magic City, you're transformed, right? You sort of take on a whole new life of its own. It feels like you're transported elsewhere. And so the idea for me, the thesis was the fantasy of men set against the reality of women, and how do those conflict and contrast with each other in a space like Magic City. And I think starting with that thematic led to the visual language of the series, led to some of the stories that are being told, led to the focus, led to our perspective. And so, yeah, that was something that I wanted to sort of put front and center.
You mentioned sort of fantasy versus reality. The story also involves music, set, city politics. How did you walk that line as a director to figure out the balance and bringing it all together?
Yeah, it was a very unique opportunity because Magic City touches so many cornerstones of culture. Like you said, there's the music angle, there's the story of Atlanta, there's Magic City is a family owned and operated business. So it's a family story tucked in there. The stories of all the dancers, past and present. I think for me, the most important thing was to make sure I'm showing respect and honoring each of these different storylines, and understanding that like all of these stories are coming together to tell what Magic City is. Magic City isn't just one thing. Magic City at the end of the day is community. So understanding that Magic City is community allowed me to look at each of these different sort of isolated storylines and find the communal relational aspects of them that helped us sort of make a cohesive project, a cohesive docuseries.
Which you did. I really love this docuseries, by the way. So, of course, I have to ask you, what is your first Magic City experience? Was it before the documentary? And what was that like for you?
Wow. Yeah. I think my first Magic City experience was a night out with my then girlfriend, now wife. She loves strip clubs, right? And so we were like, and my in-laws live in Atlanta, so I'm visiting my in-laws probably for like Thanksgiving, meeting them for the first time, and that's all sort of stressful. And like, okay, what do I do here? And then after that, it was well, let's go out for the night. And where do you want to go? And she's like, well, I'm going to Magic City. I'm like, okay, let's go to Magic City, right? So I think, like many of us, I stepped inside that place and I was like, this is beautiful and fascinating and complex. And obviously the food is good and just kind of a remarkable environment that I didn't know at the time. I'd be later telling the story of this club. I was just there having a good time with my wife. But yeah, it's going from that to now has been a whirlwind for me.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. As I said, I immensely enjoyed the docuseries.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You have a nice day.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. A judge has ordered all arrest records destroyed for former Grand Rapids officer Christopher Shore. He was charged in the 2022 shooting of Patrick Lyoya, a black man, during a struggle over a taser.
This seems like a relatively routine exercise of Michigan law in what happens to be a unique kind of quirky case.
After a mistrial and no retrial plan, Shore's lawyer cited a state law allowing record destruction when charges are dismissed. Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer says he may request home confinement instead of prison time. Combs was convicted last month on 2 prostitution-related charges and faces up to 5 years. And the Justice Department is investigating Black New York Attorney General Letitia James. She's under scrutiny for possibly violating President Trump's civil rights after winning a $300 million civil fraud case against him. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio